It's here. The new hair. The hair has been cut, and it is repinkened now, and I feel like myself again. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video, and also let me properly say thank you for 1K subscribers. We have finally hit the 1K mark. Now, the hard part. Getting the channel monetized by getting the watch time hours. So if you really like my content, please continue supporting it by watching it and share it with your friends and family so I can get this channel monetized. Yay! But pushing that aside, today we have an anime to talk about, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a really good one. Is it one of the best animes that I've ever watched? No, but for recent manga series to anime adaptations, this was a really, really good one, and I think you need to check it out. Today we are talking about, let me check my notes because, oh my god, this is one of the ones that don't have any periods whatsoever in the title and it's like a paragraph. 2 Perfect Saint tossed aside by my fiance and sold to another kingdom. Try saying that 10 times fast. And because the name is exceptionally long, just know that I'm gonna call it 2 Perfect Saint, which is what the community tends to deem it as, because ain't nobody got time for saying that name. Ain't nobody got time for that. This series ran from July 2020 to January 2022. It was later acquired by Overlap, who began publishing it under their Overlap Novels imprint in 2021 of April. So this genre is fantasy/romantic kind of comedy. Definitely I would say that this falls under the shoujo category. This follows our main girl, Philia. Philia is our purple-haired saint, aka also the most perfect of all time. She is literally the reincarnated all-time best saint ever, and now her reincarnated state as Philia, she is more powerful than anyone could have imagined. Philia's parents are aristocrat nobles who are very haughty and arrogant, and they push her daughter to the brink of exhaustion and really don't even show her any parental love. Never. Instead, all of their love gets cast upon her younger sister, Mia. Both girls are saints, and while Mia is also very great at it, she's not Philia's level, and there's a lot that she could really stand to learn from her sister. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started the series, I definitely thought that Mia was gonna turn out to be the bad guy or a villainess in some way, but Mia is actually the OG. She is the OG supporter of Philia, and genuinely the only person that really cares about her at this point in time. Mia loves Philia more than anyone else. She wants to be just like her. She loves her sister, but because of her parents' divide between the two of them, she doesn't get to see Philia that often. And in order to enhance their status, her parents get Philia engaged with the really awful, nasty, disgusting, arrogant, jerk-face Prince Julius. And what does he do in return? He gets jealous of Philia being so good at her job at being a saint. What? And sells her. Yeah, he sells her to the neighboring kingdom who ain't doing so hot. And honestly, maybe we should give him a round of applause because that is the best thing that he could have done. I know that sounds harsh, but Philia's life picks up from this moment on. Philia is sent to the land of Pernacoda, where she then meets one of the younger princes, Oswald. Oswald is very charming, he's tall, he's blonde, he's pretty, and he might even have a little bit of a thing for Miss Philia, love at first sight if you will. But he welcomes her into their city as their new saint with open arms, and for the first time, Philia feels strange about this. She wants to help these people, but they're not her people. She did so much for the people at home, and she was so underappreciated. Would these new people feel the same way? But regardless, Philia is a hard worker. Hard work is all she knows, and that's all she was taught by her master, or let's just say for now, her aunt. Aunt. Philia immediately gets to work and trying to help sanctify this nation. Again, they have just recently lost their saint, and so they've been kind of overrun with monsters recently. So she goes to work with help clearing out camps, even helping the people of the town, and everyone around her really grows to love and appreciate the work that she does. and she garners a huge fan club basically. Everybody loves her, from the maid to the butler to the people. Everyone loves Philia in this new land, and for the first time, she's treated as a person and not just a working saint, but her value is appreciated. But there's a big problem. Philia loves Mia, and Philia wants to see Mia, but now that they're in two different places, two different countries basically, kingdoms, she can't see her sister. And so, thankfully, the new palace helps her get in touch with her sister via maid Lena, who is actually an assassin. And so we see that it's not doing so well for Mia over in the original kingdom, because now Mia is now getting married to Julius, who she also hates. And she's found out that her parents sold her sister. She wondered why her sister would leave, especially without saying a single word to her. And then she realizes how bad her parents really are. And she learns the truth, that her parents are not Philia's parents. Mia is not even actually her sister. Mia is actually Philia's cousin. Philia's master, or her aunt, is her real mother. Fearing that he would never have a daughter for himself as he and his wife tried, he then proceeds to take Philia away from her mother, aka his sister. But then later they have Mia, and Philia is tossed aside in this house. She's never able to go back to her own mother, but more so she's treated as a slave in this house. Mia learns this. All the love that she had for her parents flows out the door. She no longer cares about this country, no longer cares about her parents. Everything, all of her ties have been slashed. And so she goes into villainess mode, and in a good way on our side. She goes to war for Philia, sister or not. That is always going to be her sister. And again, Mia is one of those characters that I did not expect to be such a prevalent main character. I really thought she was going to end up being the villain, but instead she goes and fights to the crown to take away Julius's role as the next in line, because he has an older brother, but his older brother has been sick since birth, and with the king sick now, it looks like any day Julius could take over, and if he takes over, all hell will break loose. All hell will break loose. Mia puts in the most effort that she can to try and help the original brother, who is meant to be the crown prince, Ferdinand, become healthy again. At first, he's very unresponsive to her. He doesn't want her there. He's been isolated by himself in this closed room with no sunlight for years. And it isn't until a couple days of Mia persistently trying to honestly reason with him with his brother's madness and show him how their kingdom is going to fall if Julius takes the crown. Finally, he decides that maybe Mia is the one who's worth doing something for, because no one has ever been so courageous and so persistent with him before. And I'm not gonna lie, it definitely seems like he's got a little bit of a thing for this girl who just keeps happening to visit him every day without fail. The two work together and devise a plot. At the royal ball, they showcase Julius's cruel ways in the most satisfying way possible. They basically make him confess in front of everyone that he was trying to kill his father and his brother, but without him knowing, his plan did not succeed, and they waited in the shadows for him to confess everything and then sentence him to prison. And you would think that that would be the end of his story, but no. He actually then happens to stumble upon the demon Asmodeus, who then takes over his body. And this is where we go back to Philia. This is what Philia is dealing with. Philia knows that the demons and the monsters are starting to try to attack the original kingdom that she came from. She is trying to do everything that she can to protect both lands. She is raising other saints, she's teaching them magic, and she's resurrecting barriers to try to protect everyone. Asmodeus knows that Philia is the reincarnation of Fina, the original greatest saint of all time, and the woman that Asmodeus has now fallen in love with. He even resurrects a puppet to put her soul into, wanting to take Philia as his new bride. But of course, with the power of friendship, she is able to vanquish this demon. The girl who's never smiled a day in her life finally lets out a joyous as she realizes everyone is saved. And this is where season 1 ends off of the anime. Of course, there are very big hints at the relationships. It does seem like Mia is going to end up with the Prince Ferdinand, and it does look like that Philia is going to end up with Oswald, but of course, we'll just have to wait for season 2. The manga is not finished, but oh my god, this was such a great story. There's action, adventure, romance, comedy. It is a great blend, but honestly, the thing that I think that this story does well the most is really tells the story of revenge and getting back at people who have wronged you. And yes, while Philia is ultimately the main character, Mia goes at everyone. How dare they treat her sister this way? Even if Philia is not blood related sisters to her, it doesn't matter. That's her sister, and she goes to war for this girl. Like, the relationship as sisters that these two have is just so beautiful, and as someone who loves villainess tales, this one is so satisfying to watch. It is so satisfying seeing Julius get everything that's coming to him, and even with the surprising twist, this was honestly not something that I was really expecting, the way that the anime handled this, but her aunt is actually her mother. Who would have guessed? Honestly, I did not see that one coming, so that was a pretty cool twist. And here's the thing, I know a lot of people kind of felt a little bit, let's just say, unsatisfied with the first season ending because it does seem to be very cheesy, and again, I am not exaggerating when I say that this is literally the embodiment of justice and friendship will prevail. The power of love and justice will prevail. But honestly, let's be real, this is almost like a magical girl series. You know I love those here. And while I feel like there are some points that I felt like while watching it were a little bit boring or a little unsatisfactory, it was a great watch. It was simply entertaining, and sometimes that's all you need. Is it the best thing ever? No. Is it the worst thing ever? No. But it is genuinely a well-rounded series. The first season of 2 Perfect Saints is really about the bond between sisters, and I think it was a very beautiful, heartwarming bond. Seeing how no matter what, these 2 sisters, kingdoms apart, still cared so deeply for each other that they would put their own lives at risk for each other was more beautiful than any romance I've seen recently. I'll say it out front. Again, this is a really great series, and I actually might start collecting the manga because of how much I love this one. But if you watched it, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, and if you haven't, please go check out 2 Perfect Saints. It is one of the cutest shows that I have seen in a long time. But if you've seen this series, let me know what you think about it so far, and if you haven't yet, I hope this inspires you to give it a try, because it's definitely worth the watch. If you have any other series that you would like for me to review, do drop them down below in the comments, and if you enjoyed this one, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!